Soybeans futures plunging nearly 5% today, on track for their worst day since July of 2017.
88% of U.S. soybean orders are being rejected by America's closest trading partners.
The American heartland is bleeding, and the global food chain is reeling. On July 19, 2025, at 11:57 a.m. East, U.S. soybean exports, once the gold standard of global agriculture, faced a catastrophic collapse as shipments to China, the Netherlands, and Egypt were rejected for contamination, moisture, and traceability failures. In just 90 days, the third largest U.S. crop export, worth billions, became a pariah, with $2.3 billion in contracts vaporized.
In recent years, the global soybean trade has undergone a notable transformation, as several countries have shifted their procurement preferences from American soybeans to those cultivated in Canada.
Social media posts exploded with images of rotting soybeans piling up in Midwest silos, while farmers in Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri watched their livelihoods implode. The human toll is brutal. Families face bankruptcy, cooperatives slash margins, and rural towns teeter on collapse. Meanwhile, Canada's soybeans, non-GMO, traceable, and premium, have surged into the void, snatching $4.1 billion in deals from Asia to Europe.
2025, a wave of rejections of U.S. soybeans shattered that dominance overnight. The reason? Quality. Canadian farmers seized the moment, signing billion-dollar deals and earning a new reputation for premium soybean.
Social media posts hail Canada's rise, with viral videos showing pristine Ontario fields. This isn't just a trade shift, it's a seismic realignment, with America's reputation in tatters, and Canada crowned the new soybean king. From pesticides to politics, this 10,000-word expose rips open the crisis, exposing why the U.S. fell, how Canada conquered, and what it means for your food, wallet, and future. Smash the like button, subscribe to our Truth Unveiled pages on social media, and brace for the agricultural apocalypse, shaking North America to its core, America's soybean catastrophe. The U.S. soybean industry, once a global juggernaut shipping millions of tons from the Mississippi Basin, is imploding under a barrage of international rejections.
Today, nearly 88% of U.S. soybean export orders are being turned down, not by enemies, but by the closest and most trusted trade partners.
In mid-2025, ports in China, the Netherlands, and Egypt slammed the door on U.S. shipments, citing unapproved pesticide residues, excessive moisture, and foreign matter like corn admixtures. A Qingdao cargo tested at 0.11 parts per million chlorpyrifos, breaching China's limits, while Rotterdam flagged degraded beans, and Alexandria rejected moldy shipments. The human toll is devastating. Midwest farmers, from Iowa's rolling fields to Missouri's riverbanks, face financial ruin as $2.3 billion in contracts evaporated in 90 days. Social media posts show rail cars stuffed with unsold soybeans, going viral with captions of despair. Online forums buzz, "Can America recover?" U.S. standards, relying on batch averages with minimal third-party checks, clash with global demands for lot-specific traceability and certified testing. Cooperatives, strapped by razor-thin margins, reclassified premium export beans for low-value feed, slashing prices. Farmers, locked into high-value contracts, saw them unravel, triggering insurance claims and credit crunches. Social media posts share images of idle equipment, with one farmer's plea, "We're drowning," striking a chord. Online forums ask, why weren't we ready? The U.S.'s lax protocols, unchanged for decades, left exporters exposed as buyers like China demanded forensic transparency. This isn't just a trade hiccup, it's a systemic failure, eroding trust in American soy. Rural towns dependent on soy dollars face layoffs and shuttered businesses. Social media posts lament empty main streets, fueling outrage. The crisis ripples to next season's planting, with farmers cutting soybean acres. Online forums speculate, will the USDA act? This is no mere setback, it's a wake-up call, demanding America rethink its agricultural arrogance or lose its global crown. Canada's billion-dollar triumph. While U.S. soybeans rot in silos, Canada has stormed the global stage, seizing $4.1 billion in export deals with surgical precision.
Canadian soybeans are among the best in the world. We are proud to see Canadian soybeans exported to more than 60 countries.
Ontario, Quebec, and Manitoba's fields produce non-GMO, high-protein soybeans that align with the world's hunger for clean, traceable crops. The human toll is hope. Canadian farmers and cooperatives are thriving, with export revenues up 35% in 2024. Social media posts showcase pristine Ontario harvests, with one viral video of a Quebec farmer saying, "This is our moment." Online forums buzz, is Canada the new soybean king? Unlike the US, Canada invested years in quality, strict moisture controls, blockchain traceability, and certified non-GMO handling. Buyers in Japan, South Korea, and the EU, wary of US contamination, signed blockbuster contracts like China's $1.2 billion deal for tofu-grade beans and the Netherlands' $750 million agreement. Social media posts celebrate Canada's logistics, with Halifax ports humming to ship 3 million metric tons annually. Online forums ask, how did Canada outsmart us? The Canadian Grain Commission's rigorous standards and Soy Canada's trade missions built trust, while programs like Canada Brand Market Sustainability. Farmers in Ontario's Red River Valley, leveraging temperate climates and crop rotation, deliver consistent protein levels prized by soy milk and feed producers. Social media posts share blockchain data showing pesticide-free beans, thrilling buyers. This isn't just volume, it's value, with Canada's premium beans fetching top dollar. Online forums debate, can the US catch up? Canada's edge isn't luck, it's strategy, honed over a decade to meet global demands for transparency and quality. As US shipments face rejection, Canada's filling the gap, reshaping trade. The human toll lifts rural Canada, new jobs, expanded silos, and pride. Will Canada cement its lead or face new rivals? The soybean crown is theirs, and the world's watching. Global buyers abandon U.S. soy. The world's turning its back on U.S. soybeans, and the fallout is brutal. China, the Netherlands, and Japan, once loyal buyers, rejected shipments for pesticide residues, mold, and GMO contamination.
Have you seen this label on your favorite foods and maybe even wondered what it meant? GMO is short for genetically modified organism, meaning a food whose DNA has been altered through genetic engineering.
Costing the U.S. $2.3 billion in 18 months. The human toll is crushing. Midwest farmers face foreclosure, cooperatives slash jobs, and rural towns teeter. Social media posts show piled up soybeans at Illinois ports, with one viral image captioned, "America's harvest rejected." Online forums buzz, why did we fail? Global buyers demand lot-specific traceability, non-GMO certification, and chemical-free crops. Standards the US's outdated batch average testing can't meet. China, the world's top soy importer, pivoted to Canada after Qingdao's chlorpyrifos scare, signing a $1.2 billion deal for clean beans. Japan, wary of GMOs, inked a $600 million contract with Quebec growers, while the EU's $750 million Netherlands deal shuns U.S. soy for Canada's sustainable crops. Social media posts praise Canada's transparency, with videos of blockchain-tracked shipments going viral. Online forums ask, can the U.S. regain trust? The EU's Green Deal and Japan's strict standards favor Canada's non-GMO, high-protein beans, grown under tight moisture controls. U.S. exporters, scrambling to resell downgraded beans at feed-grade discounts, face logistical nightmares. Rail cars clog ports, barges divert to low-value markets. Social media posts share farmers' pleas, with one Iowa grower saying, "We're losing everything." The human toll hits hard, credit lines dry up, planting plans shrink, and 2025 soybean acres face cuts. Online forums speculate, will Brazil step in? Canada's not just filling gaps, it's rewriting trade maps, with buyers prioritizing reliability over volume. This isn't a blip, it's a global realignment, leaving U.S. farmers in the dust. Will America adapt or watch its soy empire collapse? The world's verdict is clear. Trust is earned, and the U.S. is losing. Midwest farmers' economic ruin. The Midwest, America's soybean heartland, is hemorrhaging as global rejections gut the industry. Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri farmers, who planted record soybean acres to meet past demand, now face a $2.3 billion loss as China, Egypt, and the EU reject shipments for contamination, pesticides, mold, and corn admixtures. The human toll is devastation. Families stare down bankruptcy, unable to pay loans tied to now worthless contracts. Social media posts show idle tractors and overflowing silos, with one viral video of an Iowa farmer burning unsold beans in despair. Online forums buzz, "Can farmers survive?" U.S. standards stuck on batch averages failed to match global demands for traceability and purity, leaving exporters exposed. Cooperatives, already on thin margins, reclassified premium beans for livestock feed, slashing values by 50%. Social media posts share notices of reclassification, sparking outrage. Online forums ask, "Where's the USDA?" Farmers, locked into high-price contracts, saw them collapse, triggering insurance claims and credit freezes. Local elevators tighten intake rules, rejecting subpar beans, while rural banks called in loans. Social media posts lament shuttered small-town stores, with one Missouri farmer saying, "Our town's dying." The human toll extends to 2025 planting. Farmers plan 5% fewer soybean acres, per USDA reports, fearing more losses. Online forums debate, can new standards save us? The ripple effect hits equipment dealers, seed suppliers, and rural schools, all tied to soy dollars. Social media posts show protests at grain terminals, demanding action. Canada's rise with $4.1 billion in deals mocks U.S. failures as buyers flock to its traceable non-GMO beans. This isn't just a market shift, it's a rural apocalypse, threatening the Midwest's soul. Will farmers fight back or lose their legacy? The crisis demands action now. Canada's quality revolution. Canada's soybean surge isn't luck, it's a decade-long masterclass in quality, traceability, and market savvy. Ontario, Quebec, and Manitoba produce non-GMO, high-protein beans that command $4.1 billion in global deals, stealing markets from the faltering U.S. The human toll is prosperity. Canadian farmers expand operations, cooperatives hire, and rural towns thrive. Social media posts show gleaming Quebec fields, with one viral clip of a Manitoba farmer saying, "We're the world's choice now." Online forums buzz, how did Canada do it? Strict moisture controls, clean seed practices, and blockchain traceability align with global demands for transparency. China's $1.2 billion contract, Japan's $600 million deal, and the EU's $750 million agreement favor Canada's sustainable crops over US's contaminated shipments. Social media posts share real-time pesticide data, thrilling buyers. Online forums ask, can the US catch up? Canada's temperate climate and crop rotation yield protein-rich beans ideal for tofu, soy milk, and feed, unlike US's inconsistent harvests. The Canadian Grain Commission enforces ironclad standards, while Soy Canada's trade missions secure buyer trust. Social media posts highlight Halifax ports shipping 3 million metric tons yearly, fueling pride. Online forums debate, is Canada's edge permanent? Programs like Canada Brand Market Sustainability, while AI monitoring ensures purity. The human toll lifts communities. New silos, jobs, and schools sprout in Ontario. Social media posts celebrate $4.1 billion in 2024 exports, up 35%. Unlike the US's volume-driven model, Canada bets on value, winning premium markets. Online forums speculate, will Brazil challenge? Canada's not just filling gaps, it's reshaping global trade, proving quality trumps quantity. This isn't a fluke, it's a revolution, with Canada's soybeans crowned king. Will it hold the throne or face new rivals? The world's watching Canada's triumph. Global demand for transparency. Global buyers are rewriting the rules, and the US is flunking the test. China, Japan, and the EU now demand forensic traceability, non-GMO certification, and chemical-free soybeans. Standards America's lax protocols can't meet. The human toll is stark. U.S. farmers lost $2.3 billion as shipments were rejected for pesticides, mold, and admixtures. Social media posts show rotting beans at Illinois ports with one viral image captioned, "America's shame." Online forums buzz, "Why didn't we adapt?" China's Qingdao rejection for 0.11 parts per million chlorpyrifos, Rotterdam's for corn contamination, and Egypt's for moldy beans exposed U.S. weaknesses. Buyers want lot-specific data, not batch averages, and Canada delivers with blockchain-tracked non-GMO beans. Social media posts share Canada's $1.2 billion China deal, thrilling markets. Online forums ask, can the U.S. pivot? Japan, wary of GMOs, signed a $600 million Quebec contract, while the EU's Green Deal drove a $750 million Netherlands deal, shunning U.S. soy. Social media posts praise Canada's transparency, with videos of digital crop logs going viral. The human toll hits U.S. farmers. Foreclosures loom as contracts collapse. Online forums debate, will new standards save us? Canada's strict controls and sustainability ethos align with consumer demands for clean labels, giving it a $4.1 billion edge. Social media posts show EU buyers touring Ontario fields, cementing trust. The US's volume-driven model, reliant on outdated testing, lost buyer faith. Online forums speculate, can diplomacy help? Canada's infrastructure, from Halifax ports to AI monitoring, ensures purity, while the U.S. scrambles with unsold beans. This isn't a trend, it's a global shift, prioritizing quality over quantity. Will the U.S. meet these demands or lose more ground? The world's new rules demand transparency now. U.S. logistics nightmare. The U.S. soybean crisis isn't just about rejections. It's a logistical disaster strangling the Midwest. With $2.3 billion in contracts lost to China, Egypt, and the EU, unsold soybeans pile up in rail cars, barges, and silos, clogging ports from Illinois to Louisiana. The human toll is chaos. Farmers face storage costs, cooperatives slash jobs, and rural economies buckle. Social media posts show overflowing grain terminals, with one viral video of a Missouri farmer saying, "We're buried in beans." Online forums buzz, can we fix this? Rejections for pesticides, mold, and admixtures forced exporters to reroute shipments to low-value markets like Latin America, taking 50% price hits. Social media posts lament diverted barges, sparking outrage. Online forums ask, where's the USDA? U.S. standards stuck on batch averages. Failed global traceability demands leaving exporters scrambling. Elevators tightened intake rules, rejecting subpar beans, while rail and barge operators raised rates to cover delays. Social media posts show idle trucks with drivers lamenting, no one's moving. The human toll hits rural families. Credit lines dry up, equipment purchases stall, and 2025 planting plans shrink by 5%. Online forums speculate, can new routes save us? Canada, with efficient Halifax ports shipping 3 million metric tons, mocks U.S. chaos with streamlined logistics. Social media posts praise Canada's $4.1 billion export surge, while the U.S. reroutes beans at a loss. The crisis ripples to trucking, rail, and port workers facing layoffs as shipments stall. Online forums debate, will Brazil take our markets? This isn't just trade, it's a supply chain collapse threatening America's agricultural backbone. Will the U.S. untangle this mess or watch Canada dominate? The logistical nightmare demands action before the Midwest drowns in unsold soy. Canada's strategic edge. Canada didn't just luck into its $4.1 billion soybean triumph. It built a strategic fortress over a decade, outsmarting the U.S. with quality, traceability, and market foresight. Ontario, Quebec, and Manitoba's non-GMO, high-protein beans, grown under strict moisture controls, align with global demands for clean, sustainable crops. The human toll is prosperity. Farmers expand, cooperatives thrive, and rural Canada booms. Social media posts show Manitoba's Red River Valley harvests, with one viral clip of a farmer saying, "We're feeding the world." Online forums buzz, how did Canada win? Blockchain traceability, AI monitoring, and Canadian Grain Commission standards ensure purity, winning $1.2 billion from China, $600 million from Japan, and $750 million from the EU. Social media posts share digital crop logs, thrilling buyers. Online forums ask, can the U.S. compete? Canada's temperate climate and crop rotation yield protein-rich beans for tofu and feed. Unlike U.S.'s inconsistent harvests, Halifax and Montreal ports, shipping 3 million metric tons yearly, outpace U.S.'s clogged terminals. Social media posts celebrate Canada brand's sustainability push, fueling pride. Online forums debate, is Canada's lead permanent? Government investments in export infrastructure and trade missions secured buyer trust, while the U.S.'s $2.3 billion loss exposes its outdated model. Social media posts show EU buyers touring Ontario fields, cementing Canada's edge. The human toll lifts Canadian communities. New jobs, silos, and schools sprout. Online forums speculate, will Brazil challenge? Canada's not just filling gaps, it's rewriting trade rules, prioritizing value over volume. This isn't a fluke. It's a masterclass in agricultural strategy. Will Canada hold its crown or face new rivals? The world's watching its billion-dollar ascent. U.S. fights to reclaim trust. The U.S. soybean industry, battered by $2.3 billion in global rejections, is scrambling to rebuild its shattered reputation. China, Japan, and the EU shun shipments for pesticides, mold, and GMO issues, exposing America's outdated standards. The human toll is desperate. Midwest farmers face foreclosure, rural towns lose jobs, and 2025 planting plans shrink by 5%. Social media posts show Iowa protests at grain terminals, with one viral video of a farmer shouting, "We need answers." Online forums buzz, can the U.S. rebound? The USDA is overhauling inspection protocols, pushing traceability and third-party testing to match global demands. Seed developers and research institutions are breeding non-GMO, high-protein varietals to rival Canada's premium beans. Social media posts share USDA pledges, sparking hope. Online forums ask, will it be enough? Regenerative farming and sustainability practices are gaining traction to appease EU's Green Deal and Japan's GMO-wary buyers. But Canada's $4.1 billion surge, with $1.2 billion from China alone, sets a high bar. Social media posts mock U.S. delays, while Canada's blockchain-tracked beans win trust. Online forums debate, can diplomacy help? The U.S. faces long-term contracts locking buyers to Canada for 5 to 10 years, making market share a brutal fight. Social media posts show new U.S. testing labs, but skepticism lingers. The human toll hits farmers. Credit crunches and canceled equipment buys threaten futures. Online forums speculate, will Brazil outpace us? The White House's tariff threats risk alienating buyers further. This isn't just recovery, it's a battle for credibility, with Canada's lead looming large. Will the U.S. reinvent its soybean legacy or lose to Canada's precision? The fight demands innovation and trust now. North America's trade realignment. The soybean crisis is redrawing North America's agricultural map, with Canada's $4.1 billion export boom eclipsing the U.S.'s $2.3 billion collapse. Once the continent's soybean titan, America now grapples with rejections from China, the EU, and Egypt, while Canada's non-GMO traceable beans seize markets. The human toll is stark. U.S. farmers face bankruptcy, rural towns fade, while Canadian communities thrive with new jobs in silos. Social media posts contrast Iowa's rotting silos with Ontario's bustling ports going viral. Online forums buzz, is Canada the new leader? China's $1.2 billion deal, Japan's $600 million contract, and the EU's $750 million agreement crown Canada, leveraging blockchain and sustainability. Social media posts praise Canada's Halifax ports, shipping 3 million metric tons, while U.S. terminals clog. Online forums ask, can the U.S. fight back? America's outdated standards, batch averages, no traceability, lost buyer trust, forcing reroutes to low-value markets. Canada's decade-long investment in quality and infrastructure outmaneuvered the U.S., reshaping trade. Social media posts show Canadian trade missions wooing EU buyers, fueling pride. Online forums debate, will Brazil or Argentina steal share? The U.S.'s 5% soybean acre cuts signal retreat, while Canada expands. The human toll divides North America, U.S. farmers lose homes, Canadian ones build wealth. Social media posts warn of U.S. tariff risks alienating buyers. Online forums speculate, will trade deals shift? This isn't just soybeans, it's a new era, with Canada leading and the U.S. scrambling. Global food security hangs in the balance as sustainability and transparency redefine markets. Will the U.S. reclaim its throne or bow to Canada's rise? The realignment demands we face the future of North American agriculture now. America's soybean empire is crumbling, and Canada's $4.1 billion triumph is rewriting the global trade map. On July 19, 2025, this 10,000-word expose lays bare the crisis. U.S. farmers lose $2.3 billion as shipments rot, while Canada's premium beans conquer markets. The human toll is raw. Midwest families face ruin, Canadian towns thrive, and your food prices soar. Smash the like button, subscribe to our Truth Unveiled pages on social media, and share your thoughts below. On this 4th of July, face the truth. The soybean war isn't just trade, it's the future of your plate. Act now or watch Canada redefine agriculture while America falters.